You only have to recall 2 years ago when we actually had very large container ships stuck in the Suez Canal, and what impact did that have? And it just showed actually how difficult now, how strained our supply chain routes are. Remember, we used to have that phrase the consultants used to come out with just-in-time manufacturing. Well, that's fine, except it means everything is so tight, there's no flexibility in the system. So what it means now, as you've been quite rightly saying, shipping companies are going elsewhere, they'll take the longer route, it's more expensive, orders will be cancelled, and you will start to see inflationary pressures starting to build up again. And people will be actually taking decisions to delay orders just in case they find themselves getting stuck. So this is very bad news indeed, I'm afraid, for a festive period.
Justin, at this point, how much is it uncertainty, speculation, or have those higher costs, those risks, that threat of instability already started to filter through and eventually coming and hitting us as consumers?
Yes, that's the key question here. And the answer is it's a combination of both. What you are seeing is actually companies quite rightly saying we're not going to be prepared to take the risk. Insurance companies have already been putting up their insurance costs, so therefore companies will directly make a decision just based on that alone sometimes. So yes, part of it is an expectation, therefore avoid the fear. But I'm afraid it has already started in some circumstances, but that will take some while to actually work its way through to, say, retail costs. But I'm afraid once it starts, this sort of thing, it tends to gather momentum, and people will go a long way to avoid risk, and it means extra cost to them. They will pass that cost on, and that means inflationary pressures to you and myself. And I'm afraid all the good work that's been done to try and bring down inflation over the past 2 years, we'll find it gets reversed very quickly.
This is all so interconnected, isn't it, Justin? Because as well as what is taking place through the Suez Canal, at the other side of the globe, we've also got the pressures of the Panama Canal, which is also, again, another man-made thoroughfare, waterway. They're being impacted, though, by the effects of drought.
It's strange, isn't it? Because you think, sure, it's a canal, it's just lots of water either side of it, Pacific and the Caribbean. But of course, actually, as you're saying, by a canal going through the isthmus there, it has to go up quite a long way, and the water is fed from the land, not actually from the sea. Now, technically, you could pump it in from one ocean or another, but that's expensive and it takes time. So, yes, you're quite right. Another area where trade can't move to. So if you've been dealing with political upsets around the world, and bear in mind, once someone's done it in one area, you could easily find that spreading elsewhere to other areas which could become more frantic and not be able to operate. For instance, take an example like the Straits of Gibraltar. That's highly unlikely. But it gives you that sort of example of where things can be tied up. Or probably a better example is you go to Istanbul and actually see the difficulties there, potential difficulties there, if Turkey decided to actually constrict ships actually passing through.
OK, Justin, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. To Wall Street now.